latest on May 30th around the wide world of tropics. Here's your tropical weather bulletin. The tropics are quiet once again today. No storms are active around the world at this time, but we do have at least one invest that is active at this time, and it's in the Eastern Pacific. We'll talk about that in just a moment. 26 storms have formed so far this year, and maybe 27 is on the way soon, maybe not. In the Atlantic, no systems active at this time. The season starts on June the 1st, just 2 days away now. Day 16 in the Eastern Pacific, Invest 92E has formed. Invest 91E has dissipated to the east of it. 20% chance on Invest 92. No storms active in the Western Pacific or in the North Indian Ocean, and nothing in the Southern Hemisphere either. Don't forget, the Southern Hemisphere animations for the last season will be coming out at the end of this week. Invest 92E is currently located here, winds of 30 miles an hour, 1007 millibars, 212 miles from Salina Cruz in Mexico, 13.2 north, 95.9 west. And this is what we expect of this system that the models picked up on a few days ago. Very faint chance of becoming a tropical cyclone just off the coast there and then moving inland over Central America, possibly over El Salvador and Guatemala, and then towards the Belize area. That is speculative though. In the near term, we can see what the system's looking like right now at least. Wind shear is pretty low, only 5 to 10 knots. So we'll be looking out for a potential circulation to be forming here and a build-up of convection. Looks like it's been trying a little bit, but clearly not quite enough. 20% chance, as stated by the National Hurricane Center, in the next 5 days on development of that system. If you look on the left-hand side of the imagery there, from GOES 16, you can see what's left of 91E. It's just a real mess down there near Central America. A lot of rain, I would assume, has been dumped over the whole region in the last few weeks because of the instability. In the Atlantic, there is still some thunderstorm activity there as well, pushing up towards Cuba, not quite reaching it for the most part. Gulf of Mexico quiet. East Pacific looking like this out over the open waters. Things still looking very quiet indeed. One or two slight flare-ups there, just a little bit further north than what we were seeing in the last few days. The Central Pacific, much the same. Not too much going on here. A little flare-up down there near the equator. The Western Pacific looking pretty quiet as well. Out in the open ocean there, not much going on at all. Just a few thunderstorms off the Mariana Islands. And in the Philippines, on the southern and eastern side of the islands, there's some significant thunderstorms. And of course over the South China Sea. In the Australia and South Pacific region, things still looking pretty quiet here as well, as you'd expect. An interesting little feature, not too far away from Fiji, well to the north. In the Indian Ocean, things looking a little bit more interesting than they have done in the last few days. Certainly a lot more in the way of bad weather there, but certainly nothing of a tropical cyclone nature. So, Invest 92E has formed much further to the west than 91E has, and that means much warmer sea surface temperatures, 30 degrees, maybe even slightly higher than that, where that invest is, and all the way up until its landfall on the continent. Looking out towards the North Indian Ocean, you did see the Atlantic go by there as well. Very warm still over there, 30 degrees plus, anomalously warm in the western Arabian Sea, and in the South China Sea and the Philippine Sea, all very warm, ready for that first significant cyclone in that region this year. Invest 92E currently looks like this. It's perched over on the left-hand side of the view here. And as you can see, it is a very broad part of the larger structure of what's going on there, and pretty messy at this time. We'll wait to see whether something establishes itself out of that. We were looking towards the left-hand side of that imagery that we were just looking at there for any potential development. So in the Atlantic, we've had the one name so far, Andrea. The next name, of course, is Barry. In the Eastern Pacific, the first named storm will be Alvin. And in the Central Pacific, the next named storm is Akoni. In the Westpac, it's Sepat coming up. And in the North Indian Ocean, it's Vayu. You can find Force 13's outlets, the website force13.com, with the latest information. You can also find our YouTube page if you're not there already. Search Force 13 and subscribe if you haven't so far. And you can also find our outlets on Facebook and Twitter. Search Force 13 all in text. The next name in Australia is Blake, if we get that anytime soon. But by the looks of things, late season activity in the Southern Hemisphere is all wrapped up. You can also help the project become even better by becoming a patron. You can see more information about all the benefits involved by visiting patreon.com/Force13. You can also contact me on Discord. It's Fool13 at extension 9094 and Force13 on Skype. You can also find our server link to our Discord server for tropical weather chat in our description.